It is officially Super Bowl season as the New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl as underdogs to the Seattle Seahawks. Congrats to both of these teams, franchises, cities, programs, humans, you name it. And it is now an exhilarating time of 2 weeks where most of the conversation will just be about how great these two teams are. Obviously, Seahawks fans, we hope you take it in. Obviously, there was not a lot of hope for your team to be the team that ends up representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. A lot of people didn't even think you were going to make it out of your division. That division is incredibly difficult. What you proved week in, week out was that you were absolute dogs. You go on the road, blow out the Pittsburgh Steelers early. That's how you got on our radar. Okay, we started talking about Seattle Seahawks immediately after that particular game. We go, wait a minute now. Hey, that's a long flight. That's an early game. That's a long flight, early game, tough place, tough state, pounding. We're talking about absolute drumming. Took the soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers and their fan base. Maybe was a part of what led to the firing of Mike Tomlin, actually, whenever you think about the entire reality of the situation that ended up being the Pittsburgh Steelers season. Then you think about them being not only road warriors, but at home, and then the 12 showing back up, and McDonald's culture being a stupendous one. Him and Kurt Cignetti have a lot in common whenever I hear them talk ball. Obviously, Cignetti, overseer of things, and McDonald, defensive coordinator, calling the plays, reading everything that's going on. Him and McVay and Kyle Shanahan and whoever the hell the Cardinals hire are going to be an awesome thing to watch for the next 15, 20 years over there in the NFC West. But they have proven multiple times, just yesterday, yet again, that they're the best team in the NFC's best NFC West. And now they're going to have to take on a team that's very comfortable with the spotlight. Team that very much understands the importance of the game is through the Super Bowl. It's where people around the world potentially lay their eyes on ball for the first time ever. Definitely the first game of the season. And who do they see? The New England Patriots with a brand new look. And the Seahawks getting back to? Come on now. Schneider pulls the trigger on Pete Carroll, kicks him out of the office. See ya. See ya.
Don't want you. Bye.
And I do believe that.
Flexibility.
Thank you. I felt pretty good about that one. I did, because one leg there, not my plant leg. Better balance on my
90
plant
degrees.
leg. Thank you so much. Schneider, though, does that to Pete Carroll, says, hey, we're moving on. Pete Carroll goes on a little bit of a media run where he's like, I wanted my job. They basically fired me. They kicked me out of here. Your immediate thought is, oh, this guy's a super genius. Okay. This guy's got the ownership on his side. So he's super genius, so was able to kick Pete Carroll out of here. Because something got stale, passing the buck to us. Like, nope, this guy saw the writing on the wall maybe that was happening in his building and said, we need something fresh. Interviewed McDonald and said, well, this guy seems like he's perfect for the place. They build this in an entirely new way. And it's not just the Seattle Seahawks who are doing it in a brand new way. So Sam Darnold, baby.
That's right.
Hey. Sam goes for over 300, 3 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game. In Week 18, whenever they were playing for the number 1 overall seed, there was moments where Sam Darnold could have showcased that he was tight or wasn't made for the moment. Instead, he delivered. And I thought to myself after the last game of the season, whenever they win the number 1 overall seed, I said, Sam, hey, he made some plays in there that I think, as a kicker, punter, a person that has been in situations where make you feel a little tight. Like, there's certain moments that, like, you can't just get through if you are not made for the moment. And there was a couple things where he was just casual, it felt like. It's like, wait, this might not be the same Darnold. This might be brand new Sam Darnold. And it looks like it. He's been empowered. Obviously, the play calling is helping him out. Kenneth Walker goes crazy behind him. Being able to run the ball is great. And then their weapons. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, is he always open?
Man.
And then Tom Brady on the call, spectacular. Tom Brady is doing really good stuff in the booth.
Yep.
He is taking it very seriously. We appreciate the hell out of him for doing that. He was talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba's shoulder plane. He's like, what's so good about Jackson Smith and Jigba is his shoulder plane never changes. So you never know or are able to get a beat on whether it's a deep ball or if it's a short or if he's cutting out. He never changes his shoulder plane. Next play, Jackson Smith and Jigba wide open, right here, boom, wide ass open in the back of the end zone. It's like, well, that's because he thought he was running out. He ends up running the post. That's because the whole thing, it was like perfect timing. Tom Brady breaking it down, but also understanding why he's so good is a cool thing. It's all those little tiny details that separate the great from the good. Now, if you're in the NFL, you're obviously good, but there's things that the greatest do that are just a little bit different, and it feels like Tom Brady's pointing those out. Feels like Tom Brady's pointing those things out, which we respect and appreciate. It was an incredible viewing experience. What a game for the NFC Championship. Let's go to one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone. Okay, so where do we sit with the numbers for the gambling? Did we beat DraftKings this weekend? Did the public beat DraftKings? And what, as we project ahead to the Super Bowl, what are the numbers saying there, Tone?
Yeah, so the public went 1-1 this weekend against DraftKings. The Broncos did not win, but they did cover. and so that was a loss for the people there. But everyone was on the Seahawks. They were -2.5. They did win and cover, so they went 1-1 this weekend. And then we opened up Seattle -4.5 against the Patriots. I think that line makes sense, and I think it makes sense that 79% of the public is on the Seahawks. They've watched what the Seahawks have done through this playoff run, and people react to offense, and the Patriots' defense has been incredible, but they haven't scored a ton, so I think a lot of people are reacting to Sam Darnold and how good he's looked and how good the Seattle team has looked, why 79% of it early is on Seattle.
And if you want to not believe in the Patriots' offense, there's certainly stats that will justify that. I mean, in that game, Drake May only goes for 86 yards to the sky, 65 yards on the ground. I mean, now obviously the weather was terrible, but if people wanted to buy into what you are potentially saying right there, certainly justifiable things on the other side for that entirety. Now, you talk about the Seahawks, this team, on a historic run for the bettors. Seattle is 14-5 against the spread this season. The best record entering the Super Bowl since the 2016 Patriots, who were 15-3. Its cover margin plus 148.5, which is the highest entering the Super Bowl since the 2015 Panthers, who were plus 161. Now, obviously, more games to keep tallying onto the cover margin there, especially if you make it to the Super Bowl like the Panthers did in that particular season. That means nobody really thought you had a chance.
No.
Yes,
that's what that means. That means the books and the bettors thought you didn't have a chance. So if you're covering and beating like that, obviously, you would assume next year maybe you're not going to come out of nowhere for folks, but I have a funny suspicion that as soon as this Super Bowl is over, whether or not the Seahawks win or not, they are not going to be the main topic of conversation.
No.
And the Seattle Seahawks fans know that. I think that's why they're basking in this particular week or 2 weeks of celebration, as they should, and so should that guy. Sam Darnold answered the call there, Con, man.
Yeah, big time. And just watching him kind of outduel Stafford. Like, it wasn't as if the defense for Seattle showed up in a big way. Like, there were some huge mistakes from the Seattle defense, and kind of Sam Darnold almost covered up for him, which is the opposite of what you're expecting damn near, especially with how Darnold had played versus the Rams. But that shootout was one of the better conference title games that we've seen, I feel like, in recent memory. Like, it really did come down to the wire, and that fourth quarter was just basically two long, massive drives, one ending in a great stand by the Seattle defense, and the other, kind of giving the ball back to the Rams, but giving them a massive, field to work with for their defense and make it impossible. Like this right here, that's the whole entire season in a nutshell for Seattle. Their defense basically winning them the game, getting the job done, and then Darnold taking care of the football. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think people are going to really enjoy learning about the Seahawks team over the next couple weeks. A lot of great storylines in there. And then the defense did a sit-down interview and preview of the game, and none of them wanted to talk. Like, yeah, we're not doing a lot of talking. We're not doing a lot of talking. Because I think they feel very disrespected that they're not a topic of conversation in every NFL conversation, which they are not, by the way.
I know.
Until late. There's been a lot of people saying, I didn't know, and a lot of people pushing off the Sam Darnold narrative as, it was justified, which I guess it is, especially after what happened last year with the Minnesota Vikings. Whenever he is with the Minnesota Vikings and they can potentially get the number 1 overall seed and he plays his worst football, it's easy to throw it right down the pipe. Say, hey, listen, this guy did it again. And then for him to show up in a way that he did, happy for him. I'm so happy for him.
Balled out.
Good for Sam Darnold, man. Honestly. You think about the Minnesota Vikings, I guess they're in the same boat as the Cleveland Browns, who had Mike Vrabel in their building and just kind of let him sit around, chew through a bunch of zins and coach all over the place for free and then get the hell out. Then you fire your coach about 6 months later. Okay. That's an interesting thing. What about the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Could they have paid Sam Darnold? They could have, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We kind of know Sam Darnold's money, right? Because it was similar to the Geno Smith offered contract from the Seattle Seahawks that Geno Smith turned down. Sam Darnold took the opportunity to go up to Seattle. We don't know what all the guarantees were, but we think it was in the same vein. And now people are even talking about, like, hey, Sam Darnold this offseason can definitely go to Schneider and say, hey, don't you think I deserve a bit of a raise here? So you wonder if the Minnesota Vikings were able to afford Sam Darnold and bring him back and try to get into contention for the number 1 overall seed again, or did they just think they couldn't afford him? I think that's kind of where, because they definitely could have afforded him, but then what?
And they could have franchised him too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, multiple.
Yeah.
Could have
They could've.
tagged him.
Yeah.
Could have had kind of another year for JJ as well, because wasn't that the whole thing with his injury?
That's tough. Every moment that passes gets tougher for that decision to be made because he was in the building.
Yeah.
And you experienced him, and you rode the ride. And then whenever it comes time, you're like, I don't know if we can do that at a quarterback. And then some other place says, we got you. They take a bite and say, we believe in you. We think we can build. and that head coach is predicting all of this in his first ever team meeting. It's like, oh, Seattle Seahawks got a lot to be proud of, I think, over there, the way they're running.
Yeah, they're amazing. Not to mention, like, their defense having that kind of entire mindset and the Patriots defense having the same mindset.
Oh, yes.
Like, they're both these teams are just so similar in the sense of coaching and stuff, but also just the mindset of the entire, like, hey, we've been looked over. People have basically made excuses for why we're good instead of just talking about the reasons that we're winning football games. It's more so about the other story. And, you know, it's the same thing this morning. You hear people talk about, like, did Sam Darnold prove it to you? Like, did the Seahawks prove that they can go and win the Super Bowl? It's like, what the hell are we even talking about? We are in the Super Bowl now. And again, that's the same thing with New England. They're going to face that. You only score 10 points. May only has 140 total yards. Like, the conversations not being the actual team just feeds into what their entire mindset's all about.